Normally, if a sun hoodie doesn't have a quarter zip, it is a complete deal breaker for me. I hate feeling trapped in my layers or having anything constricting around my neck. But the Marsupial Gear SunTech hoodie completely surprised me. And I gotta give my buddy Bo a big shout out because he actually gave me 3 of these when we were down hunting in Arizona and Mexico earlier this year. Quick note, I have just announced guided Coues deer hunts in Old Mexico. So if you're interested in going to Mexico in January or February 2027, shoot me an email, j@mindfulhunter.com. But I digress. While we were down there this year, these were too big for Bo, so he gave me 3 of them. I would not normally buy this hoodie, specifically because it didn't have a quarter zip. And I'm over the moon that Bo gave them to me because this is one of my biggest gear surprises this year. Let's dive into why. First of all, they retail for $70 USD. That is an incredibly competitive price for a technical base layer. Size large weighs in at 9.6 ounces, and it's 96% brushed polyester and 4% spandex. Another one of the benefits is that they offer a ton of earth tone based colors, so you don't just have to wear this piece when you're hunting. Now, I do want to draw some special attention to the brushed polyester because I think that's one of the competitive advantages of this piece. Actually, as we were setting up to do this video, we were just having a conversation, me and my videographer, about the fact that we love the functionality of polyester, but the fit, finish, and feel normally leaves a lot to be desired. But this kind of next generation brushed polyester is so comfortable, it creates a piece that you just keep reaching for again and again. Now, before we get into the function and the durability, let's go check out the fit. As always, for context, I am 6'1" and 223 pounds as of this morning. This is an XL, and I would say these fit a little on the big side. So if you're on the borderline of the sizes, I would size down. I typically wear a double XL in most tops. I definitely would not want a double XL here. It has the standard thumb loops for when you want to wear down. There's lots of extra material, so you can cover the entire back of your hand. I just came back from a mule deer scouting trip. There was an insane amount of bugs at lower elevation, so it's always nice to be able to cover up the back of your hands in those situations. Next up, let's discuss the hood. Now, typically, I prefer a more articulated, tight-fitting hood. But one thing you will note with this hoodie is that even though it's looser, it's meant to be worn during hotter weather. And I find the tighter hoods actually make me feel hotter rather than cooler. And I think it's because I don't get any airflow around my head. So having all this extra material here, if I'm glassing, it's super hot outside, I can flip this up. It keeps the sun off the back of my neck. Also, I've got enough extra material. Lots of times I'll bury my face in my spotting scope, and then if the sun is coming from this direction, I can grab a corner of the hood and block the sun out of the side of my spotting scope. So kind of counterintuitive to most of my hood feedback comments, I actually enjoy the kind of larger, looser fitting hood on this piece. Overall, there's the fit for the Marsupial SunTech. You can see definitely a little bit of a looser drape, but not a super boxy fit. So before we go back into the studio and I tell you about the one main flaw of this piece, I got a quick update to share with you guys. All right, folks, jumping in while editing this video to give you the most up-to-date information possible. I'm releasing this video on Monday. That means there's only 5 days left to the ultimate custom guided hunt giveaway from Forged in the Backcountry. So here's the deal. You head on over to forgedinthebackcountry.com. Every $5 you spend will give you 1 entry to win a custom guided hunt from Mindful Hunter Outfitting. You can choose from black bear or mule deer in British Columbia, trophy archery mule deer in Alberta, or rifle Coues deer in the rut in Old Mexico. In addition to that, I'm going to cover all your travel expenses, all the tips related to the hunt. Entire trip is all expenses paid, rough approximate value of $10,000. Entries end Friday, July 17th at midnight. So again, head on over, forgedinthebackcountry.com. Every $5 you spend gives you one chance to win. Now, I would say at just under 10 ounces, this material is slightly heavier than I would like for a true early season hoodie. Now, another thing I forgot to mention is that it does have 50 SPF sun protection. So maybe that has something to do with the weight of the material, like they need it to be a certain thickness to block enough sun. I don't know. I was a little bit surprised because Marsupial's based out of Arizona. It's cranking hot in Arizona. You would have thought they would have come out with an incredibly thin base layer instead of this one, which I would call like a medium thickness. I think for 90% of early and mid-season applications, it's great. But if you're talking like an August antelope hunt or even an early season high country mule deer hunt where you're going to be in the 90s, I'd probably opt for something more like the Kuiu Tiburon, something that's really designed for true early season temps. Now, there is one major flaw to this piece, and I don't know if that's a result of the brushed polyester or what it's from, but I have 3 of these pieces, as I've mentioned, and the same issue has cropped up on 2 out of the 3, and I'm sure it is just a matter of time until it happens to the 3rd. You'll notice these cuffs have separated. So here's the one, and it doesn't seem to be a material issue because it looks like the sewing is actually let loose from the cuff itself, and then just this hem has just come off the cuff. It's not like the material has actually ripped. But if we look at this second one here, you'll see, and the exact same thing has happened here. So that's definitely a note. I don't know if that was a sewing issue. The fact that it's happened to 2 out of 3 of them, I know Bo had it happen to a couple of his as well. He switched down to a large after he gave these extra large to me. So I don't know if that was a temporary thing or if that's still going on, but definitely keep that in mind. It's either a bit of a manufacturing issue or the materials they're using for the thread itself that's an issue. So here's the deal. At first glance, this would not appear to be my number one choice for an early to mid-season base layer hoodie. It feels a little bit heavier than you think you would want. It doesn't have a quarter zip, and it appears to have a little bit of a durability issue with either the sewing or the thread itself. However, coming from a guy who probably has 30 different base layer hoodies sitting in my gear room over there, every single time I go out to hunt, I keep grabbing this hoodie. It's so comfortable. One of the things that really impacts how you feel in your hoodie is how it feels next to your skin when you're soaking wet. Because you hike, you get hot, you start sweating like a pig, and some of those polyester-based materials, when you get soaking wet and they're stuck to your back, just feel gross. This one, not at all. So even with the flaws as I've described, this is still the hoodie that I keep reaching for. It's the hoodie I wore for the entirety of my bear guiding season, just under 50 days this year. So I don't think you can beat it for $70. I think as long as they address the durability issues in the cuff, this one's a no-brainer.